Vanishing tact. President Trump visited the U.S. territory on Tuesday, 2 weeks after Hurricane Maria devastated the island. Half of Puerto Ricans lack clean water and 95% are without power. So, how did the president approach the unfolding humanitarian crisis? Let's hear it. Trump said that Hurricane Maria wasn't a real catastrophe like Hurricane Katrina at a briefing with local officials. He compared the certified death count of the disasters as evidence you can be very proud, only 16 instead of thousands in Katrina. To point out a few problems: the official death toll in Puerto Rico is underreported, it will likely continue to climb, and maybe we should frame death tolls as something to be proud of. I hate to tell you, Puerto Rico, but you've thrown our budget out of whack, Trump said at the briefing, apparently joking about the disaster aid pending in Congress. Have a good time, Trump told a family after they showed him their storm-damaged home. The president went mostly off-script from the White House's Puerto Rico media coverage planned, but he did take the opportunity to tout the success of the relief effort. Everybody watching can really be very proud of what's been taking place in Puerto Rico, he said. We can only hope he's not talking about his own performance. Roe v. Wade. Phoenix Rising. Dominica branded itself as Nature Island, the greenest island in the Caribbean. The country's lush rainforest and jagged mountain ranges drew ego tourists and buoyed its tiny economy. Then Hurricane Maria hit late last month and ruined everything. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt said the damage was mind-boggling. Maria killed at least 27 people on Dominica. A majority of a population of roughly 74,000 are now homeless. Streets are choked with shattered trees, and every piece of infrastructure is damaged. What's more, it's all bound to happen again in years to come. Dominica is part of a string of islands at the edge of the Caribbean that forms the first speed bump for hurricanes heading west. What to do? Skerritt has a vision of Dominica as the first climate-resilient country. For now, that means asking for the money so that the island doesn't just rebuild on old vulnerabilities, as he put it in a press release. The World Bank and European Development Agency have pledged considerable sums to back our vision as the first climate-resilient nation of the climate change era, Skerritt said. Dominica has also set up a website to solicit donations from companies and individuals. Can't stop this. An annual assessment of energy efficiency standards shows that states around the country are pushing forward programs to reduce pollution and save people money, even as the Trump administration works to roll back these sorts of programs at the federal level. The report, from the nonprofit American Council for an Energy-Efficient Economy, shows progress in both blue and red states. While liberal-minded states tend to invest more in energy efficiency, Massachusetts, California, and Rhode Island got top marks. The efforts underway defy the normal partisan spectrum. Idaho updated its building codes, Utah got its residents to drive less, and Texas encouraged energy efficiency in its public buildings. One Texas school district switched over to better lighting and climate control systems, saving it almost $1 million a year. Around the country, utilities spent $7.6 billion to improve energy efficiency in 2016, the equivalent of shutting down 5 coal power plants in terms of emissions. Even as the EPA and Department of Energy work to define energy efficiency rules, states continue to follow the basic logic of paying less money for less pollution. Spin cycle. According to AXWA, Department of Homeland Security advisor Tom Bossert wrote in an email to White House staff that he hoped to turn the corner on our public communications. The memo, written after Bossert returned from the hurricane-ravaged island, suggests there's a rapid recovery. That contrasts with the on-the-ground reality. Puerto Ricans are struggling to find food, water, fuel, and medicine. Some hard-to-reach areas had not yet received aid as of Monday. The storm caused these problems, not our response to it, Bossert offers as a potential response to critics of the relief effort, which some have compared to that of Hurricane Katrina. Over the weekend, he advised staffers to stick to the general theme of supporting the governor and standing with the people of Puerto Rico. President Trump paid no mind. On Saturday, he criticized San Juan's mayor and said that Puerto Ricans want everything to be done for them. This week, according to Bossert's note, there will be a pivot to a theme of stabilizing on Monday and Tuesday. Then we start a theme of recovery, planning for the bright future that lies ahead for Puerto Rico, he wrote. That's certainly an optimistic way of putting it. Standing Rock. Dallas-based Energy Transfer Partners wired the state $15 million Thursday to help cover law enforcement expenses associated with the protests over the Dakota Access Pipeline. The funds will help alleviate the more than $22 million in personnel costs, including overtime and salaries North Dakota accrued while sending police to the indigenous-led action. Add that to the $10 million grant the Justice Department awarded to the state Monday. While the anti-DAPL movement was largely non-violent, Energy Transfer Partners went to great lengths to protect its construction efforts, even hiring private paramilitary security firm Tiger Swan to conduct surveillance on those who gathered to protest the pipeline. Documents separately obtained by Grist and The Intercept detailed the questionable methods Tiger Swan took to monitor the camps and individual protesters, labeling many of those opposed to the project jihadists. After spending millions of dollars on a militarized law enforcement presence that resulted in more than 700 arrests, Energy Transfer Partners filed an over-the-top complaint in court last month against several environmental nonprofits, accusing them of eco-terrorism. Meanwhile, the Standing Rock Sioux, who led the anti-DAPL protests but were not a named party to the new lawsuit, voted out their previous leader, Dave Archambault, the tribe revealed Thursday. Thinking about buying the new iPhone? Watch our video on how to repair your old phone instead.